Hello, YouTube beauties. I was thinking about it and thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give him Psycho number two. I'm gonna do this like, because I'm like, I wasn't gonna talk about him, but it's a warning for my ladies. Look at the signs. And with this particular guy, it wasn't really no signs. It was actually, his behavior was actually shocking. And he's the reason why I choose not to date Hispanic men. Yes, I said it. Like, he was the third encounter. No, my first encounter is when I lost my virginity. That was a Puerto Rican. Then when I was 19, 20, that was another Puerto Rican. But I mean, that was regular, so I can't count that. And then he broke my heart, but you know, the third one, he was just weird. We went out on one date, we didn't do anything. But this dude, this is Psycho number two. And I think I'm gonna do my other, because I'm like, all together my whole life, I'm like, how many cycles I had? I had about four, and the fourth one wasn't too bad. He wasn't like, I mean, actually, no, once I threatened the police, then he stopped. So yes, he was that bad. But anyway, this is story time, my Psycho experience number two. So picture it, 2015. This was, I want to say, yes, it was the summertime, because I remember I was wearing shorts. So summer of 2015, and I'm working at Steiner Studios. Steiner Studios, those of y'all from Brooklyn, it's in the Navy Yard, and that's where that they have Beyonce shoots videos there. They did Spider-Man there. They did the movie Brooklyn Finest there. Like a lot of movies from like New York based, they did it at Steiner Studios. So I did security there, and I met some interesting people. It was this one guy that I was interested in, and I approached him and I was like, okay, I find you attractive. Do you want to hang out? He was like, yeah. So he, I guess, felt insecure or didn't like black girls or whatever. He brings this Mexican guy, the guy that ended up stalking me. His name was Jose. So, so the first thing that comes out, so I come on, I don't even know that he bringing his friend. It was just supposed to be me and him. The guy, I think his name was Fernando, something like that. But anyway, he brings Jose, and he's like, oh, you think my friend is cute, you think he's handsome? I'm like, that's a weird question to ask. Like, I wanted to chill with you. So as the night progresses, my coworker is not paying me no mind, like, at all. He's paying attention to other girls, whatever. And it's like, I can't get mad, because it's like, it's not like we were together. It was our first time hanging out. His friend Jose, however, was paying me attention. So he was cuter anyway. So he was paying me attention. We was kissing. He gave me a rose, all of that. So he even paid for my cab ride home. So he was nice. So I was like, you know what? He was like, if you don't mind, I like to chill with you. I like to get to know you better. I was like, that's fine. Whatever. And we ended up on the first night. Yes, girl. It was good. Like, I wasn't going to do it, but it was like, it was so crazy or whatever. And like, he invited me over, and one thing led to another. Yes. So, we talking. And so, whatchamacallit, he starts telling me how he's never been with a black girl. I was the first girl. First, he was telling me about his ex-fiance, how she never worked, she never cooked for him. And I did that. I made him jerk pork chops and yams. Yeah, he never had that before. And so he thought it was sweet, because Mexican food is hot, so jerk pork to him was sweet, but he enjoyed it. I was the first girl to be nice to him. And I didn't necessarily cook for him. It's just I had cooked for myself and my son, and I had some food left over. So it wasn't necessarily cooking for him, As he came over and I said, do you want some? So he was like, nobody ever did that for him, and blase, blase, blue. So about a week or two after that, he's like, oh, I don't think I could see you anymore. I said, why? He's like, oh, my family and my friends, they don't really like black girls. I said, okay, that's fine. Like, I didn't care because whatever, like, men, not to boast myself, but men come like buses, like, whatever. And then it's not like I was in love with him. I didn't know him but for a month. So when he was telling me that, I said, well, if you stop talking to me, it should be your own decision, not because of your friends. That was my thing. I said, you shouldn't have. He was like, oh, well, my coworker who's a black man said that, oh, y'all all just want to make babies and you trying to trap me. I said, excuse me? I said, first of all, we use protection. I've always used protection. Second of all, and at this time, I had considered going on the pill even before I met him. But I was like, first of all, I have a 6-year-old, because at the time my son was 6. I was like, first of all, I have a 6-year-old. And so you really think I want a baby with you? And I just met you? Like, no, like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, as you can see, I'm independent. I work. At this time, I'm 26 years old. I'm like, that's the last thing on my mind, boo-boo. You do not have to worry. I said, first of all, y'all have more kids than anybody. You Mexican. Even when I told my cousin the scenario, she was... Sorry for the interruption. So, yeah. So he brought his friend. Me and his friend hit it off. It was a little weird because I was there to hang out with my coworker, and he brought his friend. And his friend was more attractive. And not just that, he paid me more attention. He got me a rose, and he paid for my cab ride home. So, oh yeah, he's saying about black girls this and black girls that. I said, listen, you do what you feel is right. I'm like, I can't hold you hostage. That's the other. And it was so crazy. He's like, oh, black boys, black girls, we just want to have babies and trap people. I said, first of all, most of my friends, and not just my friends, a lot of black women don't have kids and don't want kids. And we're number one with college degrees. And statistically, we take care of our men financially. So what are you talking about? Like, the reason why we're number one for single moms is because we choose to be single. Most of us. We choose to be single, and we don't fall into the with other ethnic groups that actually need a man to take care of them in other countries. In this country, women are independent, and we've had no choice as a people but to be independent, because our men either died from slavery, war, or poverty. That's just what it is. So I wasn't offended at the time, because I'm like, you know what? That's his ignorance. That's his personal opinion. That's what I said. Everyone's entitled. I don't know what more black women have to do for you to see that that's not true. Beyonce, Oprah, how many more people have to come in the media to prove to you that black women, we have stuff going for ourselves. I'm working. You see, I have a kid, but that's not what I'm about, And then it was disheartening when he said his black male friend told him that, oh, black girls, we just want to have babies. And like, first of all, Mexicans, that's what y'all do. Y'all, the women just have a bunch of babies. So I'm like, whatever. So one day I'm calling him, no answer, right? This is how I knew he was ignoring me. I go on his Facebook and I wrote on his wall, and the message that I wrote disappeared. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I remember telling a girl I went to Medgar Evers with, I'm friends with her on Facebook. So I was trying to ask her, do you see what I see? And she was like, yeah, he probably went back to his fiance, whatever. I was like, okay. And then I moved on with my life, because I'm not about to chase no dude I've only known for a month. And it wasn't long enough for me to catch feelings. Lo and behold, I get a phone call. I get numerous phone calls. I kid y'all not. This dude called me 76 times. I remember he called me over 70 times, 76 times. Then he pops up at my apartment. So I'm on the phone with my homeboy, and he's like, yo, he was a little worried. I said, nah, he don't got no weapons or nothing. He's good. And I'm such a kind-hearted person. I didn't call the cops because I knew he wasn't legal. I knew he was here illegally. I knew he didn't have his papers. You see how nice of a person I am? With his immigrant ass. I did not call the cops. I could have called the cops on him. And he's yelling, Crystal, I want to talk to you. I'm like, who the fuck is Jose? I'm like, oh no. He ended up stalking me. The same one who disappeared on me for about a month. He comes running back and stalking me. So I'm like, wow, he is psycho. I said, I'm not talking to you again. I'm like, wherever you was, going back. And eventually he stopped on his own. But it was just the whole situation was just so funny. Like, not funny, haha, but it's like something that you don't really hear often, because he disappeared on me. He ghosted me, and then he came back and stalked me. And it's just sad to live your life like that, because he basically was living his life off of other people's opinion. Whether he was really actually feeling me or not, I'll never know that. But it's just sad if he was, and then he listening to people about black women, and you see that, and he said it. He's like, you the first girl to actually think about me and do something for me for a change or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm happy for that. I did regret it because he might have this notion that black girls are easy, since I was his first black girl. But whatever. I ain't had none in a while when I met him. So about 6 months. But yeah, that's my second psycho story. Those are my thoughts.